At approximately 11 p.m. last night, Donald Trump was inexplicably posting that President Joe Biden doesn't exist and that former President Biden was actually executed in 2020, but former President Biden uses clones and body doubles and robotic engineered soulless, mindless entities is what you see, and Democrats don't know the difference. Yes, the President of the United States is making social media posts from his official account, reposting QAnon messages that former President Biden doesn't really exist, and he's using clones and doubles robotically engineered. Okay, that's what he's posting. We literally have the most demented, lunatic psycho in charge of the United States and our nuclear codes last night. In addition to posting that, he posted images like this. Trump was right about everything, and it is him kissing the American flag. And then he also posted, in addition to saying that former President Biden is actually not real and is robotically engineered, he made a post saying that he was withdrawing the nomination of Jared Isaacman as the head of NASA. Now, Jared Isaacman was the hand-picked NASA head by Elon Musk. Isaacman himself is a billionaire. He was an astronaut for SpaceX, a close friend of Elon Musk. So at 3:15 p.m. yesterday, Elon Musk tweeted his support for Jared Isaacman, and then shortly thereafter, Donald Trump officially dropped Isaacman as the NASA nominee. This is what was being reposted by Elon Musk. Jared Isaacman is the singular visionary capable of leading NASA into the next frontier. He will accelerate our return to the moon against an international competitor's effort to beat us there, and will set the groundwork for future exploration of Mars. Donald Trump then writes, after a thorough review of prior associations, I am hereby withdrawing the nomination of Isaacman to head NASA. I will soon announce the new nominee who will be mission aligned and put America first in space. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I guess what Donald Trump is referring to, that previously Isaacman had given some money to Democrats, but so did Donald Trump in the past. What this seems like is that as part of the feud that was bubbling up between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, with Elon Musk now gone, Donald Trump making a point to fire Elon Musk's hand-picked guy. A lot of right-wing media people are furious and flipping out about this, whether it's Laura Loomer or Greg Kelly or all these people. They were saying, we really wanted Isaacman. You may recall our coverage of Jared Isaacman's hearing before the United States Senate to be the NASA head. We covered it here on the MeidasTouch network. And the Democrats were asking him a pretty basic question, like, was Elon Musk in the room with you when you were picked to be the head of NASA, and what did you discuss with Elon Musk? And Isaacman refused to answer the question. Here, just play this clip. Let's watch it.
Was Elon Musk in your meeting when Trump offered you the NASA position at Mar-a-Lago?
Senator, I was interviewed by the President of the United States.
Was Elon Musk in the meeting when he offered you the job?
Senator, my meeting was with the President of the United States.
So Elon Musk was not in the meeting. Is that what you're saying?
Senator, I was being interviewed and speaking with the President of the United States.
You can just say he was not in the meeting. Was he in the meeting or not in the meeting?
Senator, I'm trying to be as transparent as I can. I was being interviewed by the President of the United States.
It's not a difficult question. Was Elon Musk in the room when the President offered you the job?
Senator, I was, again, my meeting was with the President of the United States.
I'm assuming that you don't want to answer the question directly because Elon Musk was in the room, unless you want to dispel us of that notion.
Senator, again, I was being interviewed by the President of the United States.
Now, folks, the big headline from the Des Moines Register is, well, we are all going to die. That's what MAGA Republican Senator Joni Ernst, the Iowa senator, had to say 48 hours ago. Yesterday, she made a video of herself walking in a cemetery, and she further mocked people and saying, you're all going to die, you're all going to die. But if you want eternal salvation, trust Jesus Christ. But we're all going to die. That's the messaging from the MAGA Republicans. Yes, we're cutting your Medicaid. Yes, we're going to be getting rid of, your Social Security and your health care, and we're attacking food stamps and all these programs, FEMA, but you're going to die anyway, so die now. That's what's called a death cult. That's what's called a death cult. Here's what Joni Ernst said yesterday at the cemetery in another selfie video she made. Here, play this clip.
Hello, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely apologize for a statement that I made yesterday at my town hall. I was in the process of answering a question that had been asked by an audience member when a woman who was extremely distraught screamed out from the back corner of the auditorium, "People are going to die." And I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. And I'm really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well. But for those that would like to see eternal and everlasting life, I encourage you to embrace my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
I want to show you this, though, because I thought it was very powerful, and I think this is how you need to fight. Democratic governor from Minnesota, Tim Walz, saying it's time we stop playing nice. We need to bully the shit out of Donald Trump. Bully the bully. Play this clip.
Called out on this because I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator. It's because he is. It's because he is. Oh. The governor's being mean, and the governor's speaking out on that. Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. And again, I'll speak to my teacher colleagues in here. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully, to watch this bully and to stop it. And when it's a child, you talk to them and you tell them why bullying's wrong. But when it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the shit out of him back. You push back. You make sure they know it's not there.
Yeah, I thought that was a powerful moment indeed. Donald Trump looking fatigued and demented yesterday when he was getting off an airplane. He was saying a few things that I think are worth just kind of fact-checking right here. Donald Trump saying that Japan wants to make a trade deal with the United States very badly. Here, play this clip.
Do you anticipate any trade deals next week at all? And does this deal today with Nippon sort of overall help your talks with Japan?
Well, Japan very much wants to make a trade deal. I don't think this has much to do with it, but certainly it certainly won't hurt because we have a very good relationship with Japan. But as you know, Japan is in there right now negotiating as we speak, and they want to very much make a deal. I think the deal...
Okay, they want to make a trade deal so badly that it's been, 2 months and they haven't made a deal because you've been very disrespectful, Donald, to Japan and to the Japanese people. You've lied about their economy and you've made it very difficult for them to have a deal. Here, Donald Trump is asked about what deal he's most proud of, and then he makes up a fake deal that he didn't do. He said he's most proud of negotiating the ceasefire between India and Pakistan. And as you know from watching all of our videos on India, Donald Trump had nothing to do with the ceasefire. India's foreign minister said Donald Trump had nothing to do with the ceasefire. And it's absolutely pissing off the people of India that Donald Trump keeps on saying this, because he's making it sound like the people of India are weak and that they just want scraps of Donald Trump's, dangling trade in front of them, and that's why they had a ceasefire against Pakistan versus the fact that India is the fourth largest economy in the world in terms of countries, and that it had a successful military operation, and that's why there was a ceasefire, and Trump had nothing to do with it. But play the clip so you can hear what he says. Let's play it.
They want to very much make a deal. I think the deal I'm most proud of is the fact that we're dealing with India, we're dealing with Pakistan, and we were able to stop potentially a nuclear war through trade as opposed through bullets. Normally they do it through bullets. We do it through trade. So I'm very proud of that. Nobody talks about it, but we had a very nasty potential war going on between Pakistan and India. And now if you look, they're doing fine. That was getting very bad. That was getting very nasty. They're both nuclear powers. The Pakistan representatives are coming in next week. And India, as you know, we're very close to making a deal with India. And I wouldn't have any interest in making a deal with either if they were going to be at war with each other. I would not, and I let them know.
And then finally, Donald Trump here lies about the Nippon Steel acquisition of U.S. Steel. Trump is asked, so is what's taking place an acquisition by Nippon Steel, the Japanese company, of U.S. Steel? And Trump goes, nope, it's just an investment. It's controlled by the U.S. Here, play this clip.
All steel workers.
Is it an acquisition? Is Nippon acquiring U.S. Steel?
Investment. It's controlled by the United States. And more importantly, they're spending the money on brick and mortar. You can't take it. What are you going to do? Pick it up and move it to Japan? That's not going to happen. And, you know, I rejected this about 4 times now. And when they finally got it right, I liked it a lot. And you could see how happy the steelworkers were. More importantly, you could see from the union standpoint, the union loved it.
I've been calling this out. I did a whole video about it yesterday. It's an acquisition. Unless they're changing the entire deal that was previously blocked by former President Biden and that Republicans and Democrats alike were against from 2023, 2024, that was an acquisition where Nippon Steel becomes the controlling shareholder of U.S. Steel, and it becomes a wholly owned subsidiary of Nippon Steel. U.S. Steel becomes Nippon Steel. It could still keep its name, but it's Nippon Steel as a subsidiary. And these lies by Trump and MAGA, because they're trying to act like, oh, well, it's still controlled by the U.S. It isn't. So it's just one of the Trump frauds where he calls it something else, but the problem remains. It's like when Donald Trump says, don't test, and you won't know how many cases you have. Well, people are still dying. Nippon Steel acquiring U.S. Steel creates national security issues that have to be addressed. And it creates issues for the steel workers and the union workers when Nippon Steel may not honor master labor agreements that have existed in the past between U.S. Steel management and the steel workers, meaning lots of people can get fired, and I think that's what we're going to see happen. And so, you know, Donald Trump shows up there in front of the steel workers, and he lies to them. You're going to get bonuses. You're going to be so rich, you're not going to know what to do with it. This is what he's done his whole life in Atlantic City, how he screwed over the contractors and workers there. And then subsequently, all of the businesses he's bankrupted. He lies to people to their face. He comes up with a catchphrase. He lies to them. He makes them feel good about it. And then he doesn't deliver. And then people lose their jobs. And then he finds a scapegoat. That's what happens. And this is a delusional, demented human. Again, as I started this video off, he says that former President Biden's not a real living person, and since 2020 has been a cloned, scientifically engineered robot. That's what Trump's posting. And if you don't think Russia, China, Iran are looking at that a certain way, and forget just our adversaries, how do you think neutral countries and our allies look? How do you think Canada looks at that? Australia, the European Union, New Zealand, African nations, Mexico, Central America, South America. How do you think they're looking at that? They look like we're deranged. And so, sure, our media in the United States can ignore it, pretend it's not a big deal, or normalize it, try to make it like a joke. You know who's having the last laugh? Putin and Xi Jinping are having the last laugh. America's the laughingstock of the world. Either that or is terrifying the world in its weakness and its patheticness. You see it right there. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
New Meidas merch drop. Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.meidastouch.com.